Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to my channel. I'm Real King, and this is it, y'all. All right, so let's get into this video. First of all, how y'all doing today? I'm doing pretty good. I pray that y'all had a great day. The weekend is upon us, and for this video, I wanted to talk about a change because it's gonna happen. So a few years ago, my mama told me told me a piece of information that is very, very old. And it's pretty embarrassing, to be honest, but I'm gonna go ahead and share it with y'all anyways. So it has to do with my name, and not all of my name, but the last part of my name. So for all my life, I have known of my last name being a certain name. And so apparently it took all of these 40 something odd years for me to find out the truth from my mama. And I don't know if she actually knew this information first, or I don't know. But I think it was a shock to her. I think she just found out this information. And so in finding out this information, she later told me. And so based off the information that I was told, she gave me the option, which, she didn't have to, but she just was like, look, if you want, you don't have to keep this name if you don't want to, because it's not even your name. And so I'm a pretty simple person, guys. Like, I am not attached to too many things, and a name especially. And I think the other reason that really helped me with that, with what she said was because I drank some wine with my dinner, and it's been a while since I drank alcohol, so I'm kind of, anyways. So back in 2016, I was introduced, to this new walk. I came into the knowledge of self, of who I am. And so I learned at that point, or shortly after, that, people that are in this walk, they change their name to a more, I would say, appropriate name. So it's ironic that I got told this information around the same time. And so a lot of people that get that, followers of the covenant, they do that. They change their name to more, I would say, Hebraic names, as our blood ancestors or forefathers have done, or anyways. So I had always thought about doing that, and I really wanted to do that, and I really planned on doing that. It's just I had to figure out the right timing and stuff like that. So as I'm doing all of these things, these improvements with myself, with my channel, and the ideas and plans that I have set for myself, that are basically for long term, for my long term. And I just figured, well, if I'm going to be getting a new start in this area, I should also probably have a new start with, other things as well. Now, the thing is, if I can't do one with that, I have to do one first before the other. So if I'm planning on going out of the country, it doesn't make sense for me to, and I don't think that's going to be able to happen, for me to be able to change my name once I leave another country. That I don't think that's going to happen. So I would have to do that before I leave. So, yeah. And so I'm going to be, sorry guys. Oh, man. But I'm going to have to be finding out a name for myself, a Hebraic name. And so that's going to be something that's going to change. Now, I believe that costs a good amount of money, and I think I got to go to court, or I have to, I have to fill out papers for court or do something like that, so it's legal and I will do that. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm also going to be doing a DNA test, so I can know for sure my lineage, my bloodlines, and things of that nature, especially with all the confusion that's in my family. Um, you know what I'm saying? And I just want to, for myself, I find it very important to know who I am and who my family members are, and just all of that, because I have a pretty mixed family. I have family, like, for real, like, my name is a French name, um, and I get it from some. I was told that I was named after my grandmother's father. His middle name is my first name, and there's just a lot of kind of mixing in my family. I have Caucasian people in my family, and if you looked at certain family members, certain people in my family, you wouldn't even know it. Um, I have, you know, which is no big surprise. I have a few different backgrounds of Indian in my family. Now, as I say that, I'm saying this for y'all to understand it. What I know it as being like this, because it's like when you say, uh, like when someone says, I look like Lil Wayne. Well, I understand what they're meaning, but I also understand that that doesn't make sense because I'm older than him, so I can't look like somebody that I'm older than. It would make more sense that he looks like me, and he's quite a bit younger than me. So that's the way that it goes. And so why I'm saying that and why I'm using that as an analogy is because we all know this, whether we want to admit it or not. The original man is the dark-skinned man, which the world considers a black man or African American or Negro. What I know of it is being Hebrew, okay, and so yeah, so it would only make sense if Hebrew is the original language. Then why wouldn't that be the original man having that same language? So, anyways, we're not going to go into all that, but so with all that being said, um, I just feel that it's necessary for me, to go back to my roots and understanding and knowing my roots, and also just understanding, that the history of my people that have been dispersed all around the four corners of the world, especially here in America. And ironically enough, Brazil has the biggest population of my people, even more than America, because it actually, when the transatlantic slave trade went to South America, all that area, and then some came over to the Americas. And so that's kind of how that went. So if you know the history, then you understand that. And so that's another reason I'm choosing to go to Brazil, just because a lot of my culture is there. And so yeah, so I really want to know, my 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 ancestors. And so that's important to me. And just understanding, who I'm related to, because I have a lot, like I said, I have a lot of different people in my family. I have people that are from Africa, from Sudan. I have Native American people in my family. Now, what I was saying, I'm gonna go back to that, was it's kind of backwards how I'm saying it to you guys, but in my mind, I know it differently. Like, I don't like to say it like that. I understand what I'm saying, and I understand that, look, my people have been dispersed all over the place. We are the original man, and realistically, if you look at the history and check out, go down to like the bare bones, the beginnings of any nations, and you'll see that and if and this is deep, and I'm not gonna go deep into this, y'all. I really am not trying to go that route. But all I'm trying to say is, in my mind, I understand that it's not I have these in me. Because we're the original man. My people are the original man, and we basically birthed all the other nations, and through slavery, through you know different types of bad things that happened in the history of the world, things got basically diluted and other nations were made and so on and so forth. And so when I say, what about my mixes, I'm bringing it forth to you guys in a way that y'all can understand it, but I do understand it and know it differently. I don't want to have things go over y'all's heads. But anyways, I just want to get back to my roots. I want to find out, who's my family, where, because part of my traveling, I might want to go to these places and see or discover people that I'm related to. So I feel that that's very important to me. So I'm going to be really, and also the reason why I want to change my name is because of just the history of the name. And a lot of the slave history has been covered up, has been forgotten, has been basically left for dead or made in a way to where it's been erased or like that. And so a lot of our names are slave names, and so that's tracing it back to the very beginnings of where it came from. And it wouldn't make any sense how I would have an American name if my people weren't from America, like by blood, through transatlantic slave trade. You know what I'm saying? They were forced to adapt the names of the slave owners and such. And so there's how you have the names that are, great 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 grandparents, etc. has had. It's based off of that. But our but and I don't know what my original blood people's names were. That's neither here or there. My point is just getting myself back to that original point by having that name and stuff like that. And of course, doing the DNA test would mean for me, I would be able to see and be able to trace where the majority of my people came from. And then that would give me more validity of, my pureness as far as, being, of the covenant of the Most High Yah. So that's kind of why I want to do that. There's a few different things and stuff like that. But it would be really interesting just to find out, what, percentage of what I have in my family, and stuff like that. So yeah, those are a couple things or a few things I'm going to be doing differently. I thought I saw online it's like a few $1,000s, like $2,000 to do this or whatever like that, somewhere around there. But either way it goes, I'm fine with that. So I got a lot on my plate, y'all. I'm going to be changing my name. And I'm going to be, what else? There's a few things I'm going to be doing. Changing my name, legally. And then I'm going to be studying Portuguese. I will most likely make videos of that so you guys can see me doing that. I'll have to make sure that I have my computer with me so I can show you guys and that kind of stuff. And I'll have it all set up to where it's easy to be seen. But that should be pretty fun for you guys. And besides that, probably make it. I'll have my dress up a little. I'll be dressing in differently. Like the shirt that I have right now, it's a very. I mean, it's how old? It's like 2 years old, and this was a very cheap made shirt. I got off the Amazon, and it was a good shirt, but this print is just terrible. It's very cheap, and it's bad, and it just comes off too easily. But I like the message, and so I will be getting more of these shirts. These are what I consider outspoken shirts. They have messages on them that are very unique and purposeful. and I want to, make sure that people are aware, especially my people that are still, that aren't woke, just, showing them, what's up, what's good and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be changing. Possibly be wearing some dashikis. I'll definitely be looking for shirts with fringes on them, because that's all representative of my people and my ancestry, my blood, and stuff like that. And so it's just when I feel a look better, when I look better, I feel better. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And so it's just I feel more comfortable when I'm wearing, you know, my shirts with my messages on it, or with the colors, or certain things like that. You know what I mean? And it may also bring conversation, open up conversation, because just this shirt alone, when I started wearing this, a lot of people, they knew what's up. You know what I'm saying? It's like not everybody understood it, but there was a good amount of people that, if they're in the know, they were reacting or they were responding and stuff like that. So it was really cool to see, the people that that understood my shirt and stuff like that, and everything. And so yeah, I just wanted to kind of share that with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna be changing up some stuff. I do things kind of like, I'm always that kind of person. You know what I'm saying? That I just do things differently. It doesn't, I kind of do it on the spur of the moment. But I'm always thinking. I'm a thinker, so I'm always figuring out ways to improve myself, or improve my situation, or whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And so it's like some of the things that I might say, they may seem kind of raw or out there, or kind of like crazy. I don't know. And that's cool. It really is cool, because I'm not trying to get no major attention. I'm not trying to get any kind of rise out of nobody or nothing like that. It's just, I'm just like, why be so boring? Why say the same things that everybody else says, and be in line with everybody else? I think that's kind of boring to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, have your own mind, speak what you want to speak. If you know how to say things without blatantly being disrespectful or anything like that, unless you're trying to be, then do it. I like to mix up my words. I like to say things that most people ain't gonna say. Like the same way that people will say something, I will say it differently. So that's just part of me. You know what I'm saying? So those are some things to look out for, y'all. Like I said, I start my job on Monday, so I already got all of my itinerary ready for me to get to work, and stuff like that. So I'm excited. 3 days of work, and it's gonna be pretty simple. So I'm looking forward to it. I went out today and I did some last minute grocery shopping. Most of it, Walmart was out of. They had blue, a transformer blue, and so like all of their dairy, most of their meat and stuff was trash. Like, it was empty. They had to get rid of everything. All their dairy was done. Eggs, milk, cheese, all that was no good. Anything that was in the refrigerators and stuff like that, the coolers, had to go. All the meat, all the deli stuff. I'm just like, dang, man. So I didn't get some things I needed, but I'll go back there probably on Sunday and get some stuff and everything like that. But I had to pick up some last minute things for, just for my lunches, for work, just getting ready for all that. But other than that, I had a really good day. I didn't do too much today, y'all. Just kind of chilled and, ran a couple of errands and stuff like that. And so I'm getting ready for my Shabbat in just a little bit. So I figured I'll go ahead and get this video going for y'all. And just kind of like, bring that information to y'all. So, I don't got too much for y'all today. Hopefully this weekend, maybe Sunday, I'll get some footage on my bike and stuff like that. I did fix some things on my bike. I think I fixed my chain for the last time. I think my last video about my bike that I showed y'all, um, there was still some issues with my bike. I did make a video about that, but I didn't upload that just because it was kind of done wrong and stuff like that. But I didn't figure it was a big deal. So what I might do is I'll just bring you guys another video, maybe on Sunday, where I'm showing y'all the finish and stuff like that, because I had my seat was all crooked. It was not aligned right. I went ahead and adjusted that. I pulled that seat back. My wheel was still messing up. It was getting all crooked, and it got so bad to the point where it actually, I was trying to pull up for a wheelie, and I brought the front wheel back down, and the whole back wheel just like kicked this way, and it was actually rubbing up against the bike. The back fork or whatever, I don't know what that's called. But anyways, it was rubbing up against that, and I was like, dang. So I had to make a few adjustments a few different times on that, to where I believe now, and I did test it a few times, and I did the same thing, and I did not have any issues with the wheel, with the wheel, coming out or adjusting itself or anything like that. It seemed to be solid. I made sure both sides were tightened down, really good. So I think everything is good. My chain it's fine. It's a tad loose, but it's not a big deal, so I'll be fine with it. I probably will get a chain tensioner, I think that's what they're called, at some point and stuff like that. So I'm not going to worry about it too bad. I may kick back my handlebars a tad bit if that helps me do wheelies, but we'll see how it goes and stuff like that. But anyways, y'all, that's all I have right now. I appreciate y'all stopping by, checking out the video, and if y'all like the video, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up, and also hit the notification bell so that way you guys are notified when I'm uploading my videos. If you guys have any comments or questions or anything that y'all want to say, leave them in the comment area. And of course, if you guys haven't already subscribed to my channel, I want you guys subscribe to my channel, because it helps me grow and I have good videos. So anyways, y'all, I'm Real King, and this is it, y'all. Y'all have a good evening. All right.